The NFL Today is sponsored by Sears, where you'll find great values. There's more for your life at Sears. True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name. It's our way of doing business. And by Xerox Antifreeze and Coolant. Premium protection that lasts from Conoco. And now, here's Brent Musburger.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another year here on the NFL Today. Hard to believe now that it has been 7 months since we were all together in Tampa for Super Bowl 18. But here we are for the start of another year. And who will be this year's surprise team? 2 years ago, it was certainly the Washington Redskins who rocketed out of nowhere. I know that Jimmy the Greek is going to give me the Raiders again to win the AFC, but surprise me, make my day in the NFC. Will you agree?
I'm really going to make your day. You're formerly from Chicago, aren't you? Well, I'll tell you, get ready to watch the Bears. They're going to win the NFC Championship.
Chicago could not stand a Cub pennant and a Bear title in the same year. You agree with that? I can't believe he gave it the Bears, sir.
Well, I like the Midwest, but, you know, you're talking about dark horses, right? How about the St. Louis Cardinals? 6-2 last year, best record the last half of the season. They beat the Raiders. I like them this year.
Normally, Phyllis, we're unanimous about the Dallas Cowboys going to win the NFC. I suspect maybe the change in quarterbacks has them. You talked to Tex Sherman
I talked to Tex. You know, they've lost a lot of fantastic players. They've got 12 new rookies, but he kept referring back to 75 with the Dirty Dozen, and they went to the Super Bowl that year. That was the Hail Mary year with Roger Hogaboom. He said it's a different kind of fella. He's not out of the Staubach or even the Danny White mold. He's one of the boys who'll go out and have a few beers with him after practice. He's got a strong arm, maybe the strongest arm in the NFL now that Terry Bradshaw's gone.
Now, speaking of that situation, we have Danny White live at their practice session. And, Danny, what about the talk about the newspaper poll and the players down there voting in favor of Gary Hogaboom? What was your reaction to that story and the impact it had on this decision-making process?
Well, first of all, Brent, my reaction was a little bit of surprise, simply that so many players would cooperate with a poll like that, something that split the team as that does. And my second reaction after talking to some of the players was that the questions that as they were brought out in the newspaper were not exactly the way they were asked in the poll. And, you know, if you asked me if I felt whether or not Gary Hogaboom deserved a chance to play in the NFL, I'd vote yes, too. And that's really, I think, the question that was asked, and the way it was brought out was not really exactly the way it was asked. And I don't put a whole lot of credence or faith in things that I read in the newspaper around here anyway.
Danny, will you ask to be traded?
I haven't made that decision yet, Brent. Until everything settles around here and we see where we're going and what shape this team's going to take, I'm not going to make any kind of long-range decisions. I'm basically still dedicated to the Dallas Cowboys and doing what I can do to get this team to the Super Bowl. I don't think this is a permanent situation by any means, but if it turns out that way, I still have the same career goals that I've ever had, and that is to take a team to the Super Bowl, and where that will be is kind of a mystery right now.
Danny, what qualities do you think Tom Landry saw in Gary Hogaboom to give him the start?
Oh, I don't really know, Brent. You'd have to ask him that, but I think it's something that he felt the team needed at this stage. Gary's obviously a more, I hate to use the word enthusiastic. He displays his enthusiasm a little more than I do, and in that vein, we're a little bit different. And maybe he feels that's something that the team needs right now, that kind of a spark, that kind of a shot in the arm. I don't know. Like I say, you'd have to ask him. But at this stage of the year and under the current conditions, I just think he felt Gary was probably better for the team. And I disagreed with him, but he's the man that makes those decisions.
All right, Danny, thank you very much. Speaking of Coach Landry, who has a bad case of laryngitis today, we did talk to him earlier. Now, that newspaper poll, the controversial one that Danny White alluded to, I asked the coach if that weighed heavily in the decision-making process to switch to Hogaboom.
You know, you never know what has impact on your decisions. I would never go by that. I would never go by a player's vote. I wouldn't go by the news media's opinions either. But surely it plays the part in it, because I think as long as the vote's there, then there's some problem there. So you have to deal with that.
I was told that Hogaboom is sometimes almost cocky, that he has a leadership quality that is somewhat appealing to his teammates. Are you in favor of that kind of leadership at quarterback?
Well, I'm in favor of leadership, basically, at quarterback. Whether it's the confidence factor that you either show it or you feel it. With Roger was never that type of quarterback, but when you looked at Roger, you knew he had the ability to do that. And so there's different ways to show the same thing.
Now with us live, the new quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Gary Hogeboom. And Gary, what qualities did Coach Landry see in you so that he went and gave you the starting job tomorrow night? Unfortunately, Gary, we are having a problem hearing him from Dallas, so we'll see if we can get that straightened out, and we'll get back to Gary, and we will do that when we continue on the NFL Today in just a moment.
Announcing Sears Automotive and Hardware Sale. Save 10 to 35% on selected tires. Weather handlers, steel belted radials as low as 4 for $99. Save over 50% on these oil filters, just 99 cents. This Craftsman 99-piece dual set, now $88. This Craftsman circular saw or router, both half price, now $49.99. Hurry in for hundreds of savings now.
There's more for your life at Sears.
What's he doing? Just lit a cigar and then he put it out. Bet it's a Dutch Masters or El Producto. How come? They changed. Most of theirs don't use natural leaf wrappers anymore. Now, Gaja Vega's still an honest cigar. Gaja Vega still gives you the rich tobacco taste of natural leaf wrappers.
He's doing it again.
You ought to switch to an honest cigar.
Gaja Vega, still an honest cigar.
He's doing it again.
Many Visa card holders will soon receive their new Visa card.
Got yours too?
Yeah. For some, it will be the new classic Visa card.
I haven't seen you around lately.
Oh, I travel a lot on business.
Until your new classic card arrives, your current Visa card is as good as ever.
You want to break this in?
You're on.
It's the classic. Your new Visa card.
Visa.
A day in the life of a Commodore 64. The Commodore 64. Once you get it, you'll wonder how you got along without it.
Our problem has been fixed, and let us rejoin now quarterback Gary Hogeboom, who will start for the Cowboys tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Rams in Anaheim. And Gary, let me repeat, what qualities did Coach Landry see in Gary Hogeboom that convinced him that you were right to start with this team?
Well, hopefully he saw some excitement, a little enthusiasm. I've been working hard to get the job, and he just made the decision to go hopefully with the best quarterback after preseason this year.
Enthusiasm. How will that translate on the field? What will Gary Hogeboom do differently than Danny White has done the last few years?
Well, I'm not going to compare myself to anybody, Brent, but I'm going to have fun out there. I'm going to try and make the reads that I have to make and get everybody going. It's the quarterback's job to get people fired up on the team and create some enthusiasm, and that's what I'm going to try and do.
Phyllis told me that in her conversation with Tex Schramm, she said you'll go out, you'll have a couple of beers with the boys, that they enjoy being around you. Is there a chance that you're going to get too close to your teammates? A quarterback sometimes has to be a little distant in these situations.
There's no problem with that. We're all people on the team, and I can't see us getting too close. We're all friends. When we get on the field, it's businesslike, and we know what has to get done, and that's the bottom line, is winning the game.
All right, Gary, good luck as America's quarterback.
Thank you, Brent.
All right, thank you. Jimmy the Greek over here, let me address the question to you. How will the Cowboys perform now with Hogeboom as their starting quarterback?
Well, Hogeboom deserved a chance, Brent. But don't forget that he's still a rookie, just like Bradshaw and Theismann were, and he'll throw for some interceptions. Landry will have to have some patience for the first 2 or 3 games, and let's not forget one thing. There's no Drew Pearson on the Dallas Cowboys anymore.
Speaking of new quarterbacks, let's turn our attention to the card this afternoon. The New Orleans Saints and Richard Todd Todd. Now, they host Atlanta. How do you analyze that game?
Todd's at the perfect place under Bum because he's a great father. I'll tell you, the Saints are farther ahead in the NFC practice-wise than any other team. They're going to be heard from. They will win.
All right, the Saints over Atlanta. The Chicago Bears, I'm still not sure how to read your prediction they're going to win the NFC. Obviously, they're going to blow the Bucs out today. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, they're going to beat Tampa. But I'll tell you what, it took the Bears 2 years to learn that complicated Dallas offense that their coach brought up from there. So now they know it. They've got an offense and a defense. The Bears will chase Washington.
In other words, you'd love to lock yourself up with Hugh Culverhouse, the owner of the Bucs. He said he'd bet $1 million at that team. Oh, I guess we can't do that. Jimmy, what about Philadelphia?
Yes, we can.
What about Philadelphia and the Giants? The Eagles, both teams have had huge turnovers.
Yeah, you're not kidding. You need a real program. I mean, 19 on one side, 20 on the other. Philadelphia's rebuilding. They really are. And, of course, the Giants are still rebuilding. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think they're in better physical condition.
All right. San Francisco, Detroit. And this was a great playoff game last year, and the Lions came so close to winning that.
You remember Marty Clark praying on the sidelines? Listen, I tell you, it's tough to play in Detroit because of the noise, but when a game is a toss-up like this one is, go with the quarterback, Montana. I'm going with San Francisco.
Irv has been touting the St. Louis Cardinals. They're up in Green Bay to play Forrest Gregg's Packers, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. They will be the spoiler. I'm not kidding you. Just like New England will be in the AFC, the Cardinals will be the spoiler, and they will upset the Green Bay Packers today.
All right, Jimmy, let's go over to Irv Cross.
Irv? Ben, as we saw a few moments ago, Gary Hogaboom is the new man at the controls of the Dallas offense. And in several other NFL cities, fans are pinning their hopes on new starting quarterbacks. Now, in New Orleans, this season's motto is, "In Todd We Trust." And in Houston, the Oilers will be playing under the light of a silvery new moon.
Last year was a nightmare for Richard Todd. He was blamed for turning the Jets into losers. So now, instead of trying to live up to the legend of Broadway Joe Namath, Todd is pitting his skills against another former Alabama great, Ken Stabler. And during the preseason, it was Todd, not the veteran Stabler, who had the New Orleans fans whistling Dixie.
If I start, which I'm going to start this week, and if things go bad this week or next week or the week before or the week after, I'm sure that he's not going to be afraid to pull me and play Kenny, and it's not going to hurt my confidence at all. I know I can play. Kenny knows he can play.
I'm going to enjoy this year. It's my last year, and because I'm not the starter, I'm not going to let that ruin the fact that I'm going to have fun and be a part of a winning football team.
In Houston, meanwhile, no one had much fun last year as the Oilers staggered to the worst record in the AFC. In need of a new moon to brighten up their dark nights, the Oilers looked to the north, where quarterback Warren Moon had been tearing up the Canadian League. Moon signed with Houston for a reported $1 million a year.
I know there's a lot of expectations of me because of the money, because of all the publicity, and I think ability-wise, I have the ability to play in this league. It's just a matter of feeling comfortable and learning everything that I have to learn and trying to make the adjustment as smooth as possible.
You know, Brent, looking at the Saint team, Todd won their starting job. He's happy down there, but he still hasn't signed the contract for 1984.
Irv, I was looking at Kenny Stabler, the grizzled old veteran. I can remember when Kenny Stabler had a baby face, really, when he came out of Alabama. It's been that long since we started here on the NFL today. We'll take a look back at the 10 years that have passed since then when we continue in just a moment.
Don't you wish everything fit like Lee? Fit like Lee jeans do. Don't you wish everything fit as well as Lee jeans fit on you? Don't you wish everything felt as good? Don't you wish everything only could? Don't you wish everything fit?
Lee, the brand that fits.
Accent the natural beauty of your home and save with quality True Test paints during fall paint savings at True Value hardware stores. Protect exterior wood from mildew and water damage with Woodsman oil-based clear wood sealer at $8.98 a gallon. Enhance wood texture with solid color latex stain for just $9.98 a gallon. Or use Woodsman semi-transparent oil stain to color and protect wood without hiding the grain. It's just $10.98 a gallon at participating True Value hardware stores.
Right now, your body's thirsty for more than water.
You're working your body till you can't do more. Gatorade is first aid. So give your body what it's thirsty for. Gatorade is first aid. For that deep down body thirst.
When you exercise, you lose potassium, fluids, minerals. Gatorade helps put them back fast. It's no ordinary thirst quencher.
Gatorade is first aid. For that deep down body thirst.
You know, Brent and Irv, a great deal has been made out of the number 10 in gymnastics. You remember Mary Lou Retton? We all fell in love with her. In diving, Greg Louganis. Even the popular movie 10, the one with Bo Derek, of course, and the Bolero music. Well, we can't quite make the claim that the past decade on the NFL has been a perfect, smooth 10, but that's been the fun of it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take remote.
Outside, there's lots of snow. Inside, there isn't. Now, let's go to Phyllis George at CBS Sports Center in New York.
3.
Say, Lindsay, I think you've got terrific taste in sports jackets.
It began 10 years ago with an unusual mix. I was there, sitting alongside a former Miss America, Phyllis George, and a former NFL defensive back, Irv Cross. We set out to inform and entertain.
Everyone in the world compares me to Joe Namath, you know, as far as, you know, the idea of off the field. He's single, bachelor swinging, I'm married and family, and, you know, he's having all the fun. And, you know, I enjoy sex as much as Joe Namath. Only I do it with one girl, you know.
There you go.
We had fun, and we had fun sharing it with you. We even sent Irv out to try to cover Roger Carr of the Colts.
Oh! Gee whiz! Can you believe it?
You look like you slowed down a bit in comparison to Carr.
16 years ago, I would have stayed with him.
In our second season, Jimmy the Greek joined us, our big fullback, analyzing games and forever enlightening us.
There's no love here. The intangible part of it is Knox wanted the Detroit job. He didn't get it. He will try to kick, you know what, out of Detroit. All right. You know why they got that open part in Irving?
No, why is that?
So God can watch the Dallas Cowboys play.
His favorite team, right?
And through the years, we shared the good times with all the viewers.
William and Mary, I would like to wish you a merry playoffs and a happy Super Bowl. Keep on smiling, Phyllis. You're much prettier than Brent or Irv. Love.
We had become a family. But sometimes families feud.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the NFL today, or maybe I should say, as the world turns.
Because one night, Jimmy and I had a highly publicized barroom scuffle, and reports to the contrary, no moss. There would be no rematch.
Neither Don King or Bob Arum will offer $10 million for a rematch between Brent and the Greek.
You are looking live at an empty Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh.
Players of the National Football League.
First and foremost, our intent was always the same, to inform the football fan.
Will be on strike.
And for the first time since the strike began, Garvey said he is optimistic.
Can you move the Super Bowl? In other words, can you push that back at all? I'm talking now about the date, not necessarily the site.
I don't think so.
Don Shula would like to come, Brent. He'd like to come to New York. One of the little obstacles is he'd like an apartment in a building that I have on Fifth Avenue called Trump Tower. And that's something that's more valuable than money.
By the way, Howard Cosell may say bye-bye after this year.
Pardon me? Howard may retire after this year?
He will retire.
I got a gray hair now, too, Jimmy.
I've got a few myself.
I had a few tears. I don't mind telling you, a lot of great memories.
I missed the gold chain, Greg.
Well, somebody took it.
Hey, you were right once on Howard Cosell. Hey, that was good.
Well, as we all got older, I hope we got wiser.
I think we have. I'm 10 years older and 5 pounds lighter. Much wiser, no doubt about it.
I'm the mother of 2 now, 2 children. When I started this, I was single. It's been great.
You notice after 10 years, he still sits there and listens to all this?
Your hair's a little darker, a little gray in the temples. That's about the only thing I could notice.
Yeah,
Same smile, same...
Best of all, though, we've had these great moments to share with the audience.
Oh,
gee. And they are the true stars of this piece, the way they have stuck with it. And we will continue now with our coverage of the NFL today, and hopefully we'll have 10 more years of great memories to bring you. And we'll be right back here on CBS in just a moment.
What does it take to excel?
I know the deadline. You'll get it tomorrow.
It takes speed, reliability, economy. It takes express mail next day service from the post office. Our 2-pound package just $9.35 overnight, and we deliver over 95,000 packages on time every day.
Yes, we got them. Oh, and Jerry, thanks.
Express mail service. We deliver excellence for less.
It certainly is a big bun. It's a very big bun. Big, fluffy bun. It's a very big, fluffy bun. Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
At Wendy's, we serve a hamburger we modestly call a single. And Wendy's single has more beef than the Whopper or Big Mac. At Wendy's, you get more beef and less bun.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something better. You're Wendy's kind of people.
Hi, I'm Terry Bradshaw for Z-Rex Antifreeze and Coolant, the premium protection that lasts all year. Z-Rex protects your engine in all kinds of weather, from the bitter cold of a Pennsylvania steel town to the steamy heat of a Sunbelt summer. And it blocks out rust and corrosion, even in cars with aluminum parts.
Hey, Bradshaw, you're next!
I wish I could get this kind of protection on the field all the time. Z-Rex Antifreeze, premium protection that lasts from Conoco.
If you want to do work like an expert, it helps to have the mind of a craftsman. Sears Craftsman electronic power tools are so advanced, they practically think for themselves. Their microprocessor memories and electronic sensors give you more precision, more control, and the same quality that's made Craftsman bench power and hand tools America's best sellers.
There's more for your life at Sears.
The best thing about the last 10 years, we still can laugh at ourselves. But listen, I'm afraid there's a bit of bad news for those of you who tune in every Sunday to watch the High Fives and the Cool Jive and some of the other popular dance numbers in the NFL. The plan this year calls for football, pure and simple, without all those frills.
Not this season, there's a reason. I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me.
The chaperones who watch over these Sunday mixers felt that some of last year's dance routines were a bit too exuberant, a little too much Saturday Night Fever. Remember this breach of etiquette when a couple of frustrated cowboys tried to cut in on Washington's Fun Bunch? So now the lords who run the NFL have come up with a new rule. But what is prolonged and how much is excessive?
Fans come to see it. They love to see it. What more would you like to come see on a Sunday afternoon than watching a grown man dance in the end zone?
Now here's a penalty called in a preseason game. Now I ask you, is that excessive? Well, if so, how about this one?
That's great. And they even had a celebration in the end zone and didn't call a penalty this time.
And finally, will the league's most famous breakdance artist tone down his act?
Let's just play it by ear, and when I score, I might have some surprises for you.
My heart won't let my feet do things they should do.
Phyllis is on her way to Anaheim to see the Rams, and the Greek just told me he likes Miami against Washington. We'll see you at halftime.
Coming soon.
Your husband is dead, Mrs. Reynolds. They murdered him.
She's out for revenge, but she needs help.
Do you have access to weapons?
Oh, I can get my hands on anything I need to survive.
Now they're a team that goes anywhere and Americans in trouble.
Very good at this.
I do this for a living,
They make the spark fly.
Just
What are you doing?
Just fine if you wouldn't mind turning off that light.
John Eric Hexum, Jennifer O'Neill, Cover Up, coming soon on CBS.
This is CBS.
For Colossal Isuzu truck sales.
Happening now at Roger Burdick Isuzu.
Route 11, North Syracuse.
In this world, there are some things so delicious, words just can't describe them. Like a Burger King Whopper made just the way you like it. You always start with plain boiled goodness. Then you make the choice. You can have tomatoes, hold the lettuce, choose onions, or not. Have some pickles, maybe cheese. Have it any way you please. You tell us what you want, and what you'll get is a Whopper that's too good for words.
Your power company has discovered a brand new source of energy. All they have to do is burn it. They use more and more of our money to build more expensive power plants. The coal, oil, and uranium they burn cost more every day, and so does electricity. The answer? Alternative energy sources which are cleaner, safer, and cheaper. But your power company doesn't care. They think you have money to burn. Write us for some facts about power and money before you see the last of your most precious resource.
I'm special, selective service, what's my name? At the post office. Post office. Don't want to break nobody's law. No. Just got to go down and sign, that's all.
If you're a guy about to turn 18, you got to register with Selective Service.
Entertainment this week, Sunday at 11:30 on TV5.